You saw the title, "The World's Longest Penis Belongs to," and you clicked. Maybe you were shocked. Maybe you were amused. Maybe you were offended. Maybe you expected this to be a joke or some weird trivia fact. But I need you to stay with me, because this isn't what you think. This isn't about sex. This isn't about anatomy. This is about you. It's about all of us. It's about what we chase, what we worship, what we think matters, and how deeply wrong we've gotten it. Let's talk about what that title really means. When I say, "The world's longest penis belongs to," I'm not actually talking about a human body part. I'm talking about ego. I'm talking about this ridiculous, exhausting need we have to constantly compare, compete, and conquer. I'm talking about the illusion we chase that being the most, the best, the biggest, is what gives us worth. And I want to challenge that illusion, because it is ruining lives. Our culture is obsessed with size, of everything. How much money you have, how many followers you've got, how many inches, how many sales, how many likes, how many zeros in your paycheck, how many cars, how many people want you, how loud you are, how fast you go, how high you climb. We're obsessed with measuring ourselves. And worse, we're obsessed with being measured by others. That's what this speech is actually about. So yeah, the world's longest penis belongs to somebody. Big deal. Is he happy? Is he fulfilled? Does he have real intimacy? Can he show up emotionally for the people who matter? Does he know himself? Can he sit in silence without the applause? Can he be still without chasing a high? See, we've built a world that celebrates noise over substance. We worship achievement over alignment. We value perception over truth. And it's costing us everything. I want to talk to you, not as a motivational speaker, not as a life coach, but as a human being who knows what it feels like to believe that who you are is never enough. I know what it feels like to chase validation, to overperform, to constantly try to outdo yourself, so maybe you'll finally feel okay. That feeling, that gnawing sense that you're not enough unless you prove it. That is the real epidemic. That's the thing people aren't talking about. We laugh at that title. We're drawn to it, because deep down, we all want to feel like we're big enough. Like we matter, like we measure up. So we chase numbers. We chase applause. We chase external things, titles, money, image, size, power, because we think they'll finally fill that hole inside. But they don't. They never do. You get the title, and you still feel empty. You get the body, and you still feel not good enough. You hit the number, and you still wake up with that voice in your head whispering, "It's not enough. You're not enough." You want to know who has the longest penis in the world? You're asking the wrong question. A better question is, who's got the strongest sense of self-worth without needing to prove it? Who's got the courage to stop performing? Who's willing to show up as they are and risk not being the biggest, the best, or the most? Because that takes real guts. The truth is, the longest anything won't protect you from yourself. Confidence doesn't come from outdoing other people. It comes from finally deciding to stop betraying yourself. Let me say that again. Confidence is not found in size, status, or social media. It's found in integrity. It's found in truth. It's found when you stop outsourcing your self-worth to how many people clap for you and start looking inward. That's where power lives. That's where peace lives. We've been lied to. We've been sold a story that says, bigger is better. But that's not true. Bigger isn't better. Real is better. Authentic is better. Grounded is better. And you don't have to be the biggest anything to live a life that's wildly fulfilling. You just have to be brave enough to stop pretending. You know what I've learned about people who always want to be the biggest, the best, the most? They're terrified of being ordinary. And you know what? Ordinary is not an insult. It's a place of peace, of presence, of power. When you're finally okay not being the biggest, you can finally hear yourself think. You can finally focus on what actually matters. Like your health, your family, your joy, your voice, your energy, your life. You don't need to be the world's longest anything. You need to be deeply rooted in who you are. You need to be able to walk into a room without needing to prove a damn thing. You need to live your life in such a way that you can look in the mirror and say, I respect that person. Not because they're perfect, not because they're impressive, but because they're real. That's what confidence actually looks like. Let other people chase size. Let them show off. Let them brag. You, be unshakable, be kind, be consistent, be honest, be grounded, be awake, be alive. That is so much rarer, and so much more powerful, than anything that can be measured in inches, dollars, or follower counts. I'll leave you with this. There's nothing wrong with wanting success. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be great. But if your greatness depends on being better than someone else, you'll always be a prisoner. True power is when you don't need to compare. When you can celebrate others without questioning yourself. When you stop needing the world to validate you, because you've already validated yourself. So the world's longest penis. Yeah, it belongs to someone. Good for him. But the question is, do you belong to yourself? Because that, not some record, not some number, not some title, that is the only thing that really matters. And if you can answer that question with a yes, you've already won.